The dead never rest easy in the kingdom, but lately the reports of stirring bodies have been alarmingly high. The reason why some dead refuse to stay dead is a mystery. Perhaps it is due to some unfinished business that denies the person its eternal rest, or possibly the soil of the grave is tainted by the void. However, as this repeatedly occurs, it seems likely there is definite reason behind the stirring. Maybe the king's decision to allow expeditions south once again has triggered the undead curse, or perhaps there is something else behind this. This campaign starts wherever the heroes are, but the second quest must be started in the Silver City. Greetings, welcome to Meet Me at the Table. I'm Barrett, and we're going to be playing The Dead Rising. This is the campaign that we're going to be doing out of the League of Dungeoneers. This is the first one in the book, so if you don't want any spoilers, then you might want to stop here. But we're going to go through, hopefully, this entire little quest campaign, if we can. We'll see how this goes. But this is the first one. We're going to get this all set up, and we are going to take on The Dead Rising, and the first quest is going to be spring cleaning. If you're excited to see if our heroes can complete spring cleaning and rid the world of the Dead Rising, then I need you to meet me at the table. Let's take a look at our first quest, spring cleaning. This is like a set of chain of quests, and so we're going to see how many we can get through. It'll be a ton of fun. Let's check out what we have to do. After we do that, we will set this whole thing up and we will dive into the dungeon. This is a full dungeon delve quest, so I'm excited to show you how that all transpires in the League of Dungeoneers. Quest 1, spring cleaning. You have been tasked by the local town elder to clear out the basement of the town hall. This basement has been closed off for several years, but a recent invasion of large rats in the village has led the local rat catcher to think that their nest is in this building. However, the size of the rats is somewhat on the large side, and he has refused to enter the basement, exclaiming, "'Tis ain't normal when them bastards growin' that size. Devilry, I tell you." Large-sized rats or not, this should be an easy task for your hardy heroes. The Jarl says that there is nothing of value down there, but that you are free to take anything you find. So we're going to notice here that we're going to start at threat level 2. The minimum threat level will always be 2 because things may make you move this up and down, and if you can never go below 2. The max threat level of this dungeon will be 18, and you'll see how that works in the playthrough. As you see here, the quest is going to be in any town, and of course it's going to be in the town that we ended our last playthrough in, which was Fayfair, I believe, was the name of that town. Special rules: when the threat level reaches 12, a wandering monster will appear, regardless of the scenario dice results. For this quest only, the party may give the benefits of the rest rule on page 86 without consuming any food rations, but learn from your experience and remember to bring rations because the gods will not be friendly next time. Well, I actually bought some rations. I guess I didn't need to. They were going to supply them anyway. As you can see here, this is how we're going to set this up. The number of tiles is going to be 4 corridors and 4 rooms. We're going to remove C16 and R17 when making our deck for our dungeon. When we are able to complete this, we're going to have a 100 coin reward per hero, and the encounters will be quest specific. As we're traveling through the dungeon, if we ever hit room R5B, that is our objective room. This is what they mean by a quest-specific encounter table. It is right here. So we're going to roll our dice whenever we have an encounter, and these are the type of monsters we can run into. Either giant rats, bat swarms, Johann the gardener, I guess. We can find, again, some giant rats, some pox rats, giant snakes, and giant spiders. So, you know, you're run-of-the-mill giant stuff. Of course, it does say down here, Johann can only appear once, and if you end with 31 to 45 again, place down 1 to to 4 giant rats, and 1 bat swarm. So it's going to be kind of a mixture of things at that point. As our book said, we are going to grab 4 of each, and as you can see, these are our rooms over here, and these are our corridors over here. There are quite a bit of them, so it's really cool. You'll have quite an interesting adventure every time you go. There's quite a bit of these. So we're going to give these all a good old truffle shuffle here. Once these are all shuffled up, we are going to draw 4 of each of these, and then we're going to add in our specific stage card that we have right here. So let's give these a little bit more of a shuffle here and draw 1. We'll draw that one, 2. We'll get this one here, 3, and our last one will be that one. That is our 4th one. Now we're going to get our rooms all shuffled up here, give them the good old truffle shuffle like we did those corridors, so they're all mixed up nice and good. We're going to have a completely random dungeon. This is going to be super cool. We'll get our cards almost set. There we go. We'll get 1, we'll grab 2, we'll grab 3, and we'll grab 4. Those are our rooms. We're going to take all of these, now shuffle these all together so that they are all mixed up, and then we're going to add in our final room. But we're not going to just add it in randomly. We are going to divide these 2 decks in equal parts. So we're going to have 4 and 4. So what we're going to do, we're going to get these shuffled up a little bit more here. I'm going to give them a little bit of a little shuffle cards here. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Everything's nice and shuffled. Now we're going to take them and go 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and we're going to add this one to this deck here. This is going to be our top deck. This is going to be our bottom deck. So we're going to give that a good old truffle shuffle here so that it is randomized for ourselves here. And after we get that all done, we're going to set this aside. We're going to put, of course, the 4 without that card on top. So we're never going to run right into it. And we're going to put the rest of these back in the box, and that is our exploration deck that we're going to be going through. Before we take our first turn, I do want to make sure we have our whiteboard all set up, or our dry erase board here all set up. So the first thing we're going to do is get our threat level ready. We do have a 2 threat level, and that is the minimum threat level we can ever have. Our maximum threat is going to be 18, so I put a box around that one. These are the different things that are going to affect our threat level as we go forward, either opening a door, winning in combat, threat rolls above the threat level, rest, and then, of course, if we roll a 20 on the threat die, and you'll see, of course, how that works during the playthrough. And a threat roll below current threat level will remove all torches and flip lantern tokens. The second time a lantern token is flipped, the lantern is out of oil and must be refilled. So we do have a torch going on. We did buy one of those. On top of threat, we also have our party morale, which is going to be just take all of your resolve, all your party members, divide it by 10, and that is your number. We have a total of 17. It's one of our strongest stats. Now, this is going to be influenced by certain things that happen during the adventure in the dungeon. Of course, anything bad that happens is going to make it go down. Anything good that happens is going to make it go up. If we ever reach halfway through our morale, or party morale coming back down, we get to, let's say, halfway down there, we're going to be rolling -10 on any resolve test we make because our morale is partially shaken. If it ever gets off this chart and goes to 0, once we're out of any type of combat, our entire party will flee from the dungeon and have to come back to try to do the quest again. I've also reset all of our characters back to full since we did rest, and we were able to get back all of our hit points for Rock, which is awesome. And we've given all ourselves 1 energy, all of our hit points, and our magic points as well. Also, we have to give somebody our light source. Kit, I think, is going to have our light source. And there are tokens for this, and you can place them onto this so you have it right there. But I'm going to be moving this around a lot, so I probably knock the tokens all over the place. So I'm just going to circle our light source for now. And if we ever lose it, I'll just erase it or put an X through it or something of that nature. You're also noticing other things you can keep track of on this as well. Whether or not you've used your dodge in combat, the status of your weapon, if you have it, if you dropped it, if it's loaded or not loaded, if it's a ranged weapon, something of that nature could all be done on here. Also, we can put our different stats if we get poisoned or things of that nature. You can track everything right on here. It's really super handy. We're going to move into our first turn of the dungeon. The very first door in the dungeon is never locked, but all the other doors that we're going to run into are going to be locked. We're going to have to deal with that as we go. We can choose the turn order of our party. I'm going to start with our warrior priest. He's going to go valiantly through the door. He's going to open this door and draw our first card and see what we get from our exploration deck. We have found ourselves a guard's chamber. It says, this dimly lit chamber appears to be some kind of barracks. The fact that there are torches burning indicates that whoever sleeps here cannot be far away. There are several makeshift beds on the floor, some even with sacks or backpacks alongside. One of the walls is a weapon rack that seems to have some weapons still there. There are 3 bedrolls on the floor that can be searched, as well as a weapon rack. However, the threat level is also raised by 1. Furthermore, the chance for an encounter in this room is increased by 15. So at this point, we're going to go get our door, place down our tile, and we're going to have to roll for our encounter. Here is our tile. It's right here. You can place these tiles any way you want, in any direction you want. There is one stipulation: you cannot place it so that a door opens onto furniture. That's the deal. So we're going to place it just like this. I think that'll be pretty cool. We'll put our door right here. We do have these neat little cool doors. So we've opened our door. I do get one more action, but before we do, we also have to check the card to see how many doors are out of this place. And it looks like there are 2 different doors leaving this place. And I lied. The 2 also includes the door that you came through. So there's one here, and we'll place one more. And again, we can place it anywhere we want. We just can't place it on furniture or anything like that. So maybe I'll just put it right up here, or we'll go this way. We'll go that way. That'll be fun. We'll go straight over into that direction. Now, once you place that down, we're then going to take our card. I'll put that in the middle to remind you what's going on. But we also put our exploration deck over where the next door is, so that we're ready to draw our next one when it comes to that part of the game. Now we need to continue on with the rest of this. It does says if there are 3 bedrolls, a floor, and that's here. However, the threat level is also raised by 1, and furthermore, the chance of encounter in this room is increased by 15%. I've raised our threat level up to 3, and then we're going to roll our dice. There's a 50% chance that we're going to find something in this room, but we had to raise that by 15, so that'd be 65%, but we got a 76, and you want to roll lower if there's going to be an encounter. So with the 76, that means there's no encounter in this room. We'll continue with our next action, which is going to be to move. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to move towards that next door. We'll use our thief next. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 over to this bedroll, and he is going to search that bedroll. And before I do, I did notice the error of my ways. I missed that the weapon rack is down here, so we're just going to slide this up 1, just like that, because this can't be in front of one of these furniture pieces like that. So we're set there. I'm still going to search that bedroll. Let's see what we find. Our bedroll is with pack is located right here. So we're going to roll this up and see what we get. I'll roll a D10, try to hit it right there, the number. We got an 8. So we have found absolutely nothing. Moving into our alchemist turn, he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and he's going to search this weapon rack. He's either going to find a weapon or he's going to find nothing. Let's see what he found here. He found nothing. Oh my gosh, they must have already looted this place. And the last to go is our wizard. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's just going to walk into this room and get ready. Now with his second action, he can move again, but remember you can only use half your speed, so he's going to move 1, 2 to right here, so maybe next turn he can search that bedroll. Moving into the next turn, we're going to follow this chart. We're going to be rolling our scenario die, which is going to be a D10. Then you're going to follow the chart to see what happens. You don't do this at the very beginning of the game. The first turn you take outside the dungeon, this does not take place. But now every turn we do is going to be rolling this scenario die. So we're going to roll it up and see what happens. We're going to roll it up. We got a 10. So if we look here, it says roll the scenario die, a D10. Did you get a 1 through 8? No, we did not. If we did, nothing would happen. We'll just continue moving. That's the end. Now, if we did get a through 10, which we did, we rolled a 9 through 10, we're going to roll the threat die. And this roll is going to be based on our threat level. So we're going to grab a D20 for this roll and see what we get. We'll roll it up and see here, we got a 4. Now, our threat is a 2. So is the threat a 20? No. If we did, we would lower threat by 5. Now, in this particular case, we would not be able to lower it because the minimum threat we can have is 2, and right now we're at 3. So we would lower it by 1. Is it above the threat level? Yes, it is. Our threat level is actually 3. I apologize, not 4. And I also have some paint on my hands from our painting episode last night. I apologize. And let's see here. We're going to raise our threat by 1 then. If it was below or equal to the threat level, we would roll on the threat table and see what happens. Just to show you, there are the 2 tables for our threat level if it happened. And one is if we're in battle and one is if we're not in battle. This is the in battle one here. So most likely the enemies are going to gain a boon, or we might take some kind of hit on this or something, depending on what we get. If we're outside the battle, we'd be rolling on this, which could affect how we're going to be moving around. Maybe a wandering monster might appear. We're not sure. Now, once you do abide by what you have rolled on your threat level, you will then decrease the threat level based on the number over here. And of course, the higher the number, the worse off you are in this. The only die in this entire game that you want to roll high on is the original threat die, because that threat is getting higher. And if you roll below it, something bad is going to happen. But if you roll above it, nothing happens. Or if you get a 20, you're actually even able to lower it by 5. So just remember, this is the only die in the game you want to roll higher than when you're trying to do something good for your party. I raised our threat level by 4, and we're going to move on to the next turn. And we'll start with our warrior priest. He's just going to move 1 over here, and he's going to search that bedroll and see what we find. After we determine we probably get nothing, we're going to move over next to that door. That's going to be the rest of our turn. Actually, no, I lied. I'm just going to move 1, 2 to right here so that I am next to the door, and then I'm going to search the bedroll from there. We'll roll a D10 just right here. We got a 10, so we have found absolutely nothing. We'll have our wizard search the bedroll next. He's going to stay right there and just search it, see what he gets. He's going to roll that up. He got a 10. There's nothing in this room at all. So we've searched absolutely everything in this room. There is nothing here. It is time to move on. Our thief is going to move 1, 2, 3, or I should say our rogue to right there. And then he is going to check this door, see if it's locked, see if it's trapped, see whatever we can do. And we're going to try to open this door. There's a small set of steps you take when opening a door or a chest. We'll start by the top here. It does say raise our threat by 1. So now our threat is up to 4, which is pretty tough. Or 5, I apologize. Our threat is up to 5. We had 1 for getting into this room, 1 for rolling our scenario die, and now our threat is up to 5. So we have 5 threat. We're going to roll our dice. Now, it does say these can be done at the same time. We're going to roll a d6, determine if the door is trapped. And that's going to be on a 6. Then we're going to roll a d10 to see if it's locked or not. So let's quickly roll these up and see what we get. We got a 3 and a 7. So the 3 is, we're going to follow our little thing here, roll to see if it's trapped. Is it trapped? 1 through 5. No, it is not trapped. We're not going to do that. Now we're going to roll to see if it's locked. Roll a 1d10 and we got a 7. So then we'll move down to this portion. And once you play the game enough, this just becomes second nature. So we got a 1 through 6. No, it is not locked. That's incorrect. We got a 7. So yes, it is locked. At this point, we have to choose to either pick the lock or bash down the door or break the lid of the chest. So I think we're going to try to pick the lock. That's probably our best bet. We'll need to roll our pick lock skill to see if we're able to pick this lock. And depending on what you roll on that d10, the difficulty goes up. So for example, we rolled the 7, so it's going to be just a straight roll against our lock picking skill, which Kit has a 70 on. But if we rolled a 10, that would actually give him a negative 20 to his lock picking skill. And it also shows how powerful the door is. There is a little table here that shows you what all this is. And since we rolled a 7, our lockpick is a 0, and the wounds on the door would be 10. So we tried to bash it down. That's what happened. Of course, bashing the door down adds even more threat to the area. We're going to roll this up. We need a 70 or lower. We got a 13, so we were able to successfully pick that lock. We'll continue down our flowchart, and next we're going to do is place our tile and roll for encounter. If there isn't an encounter, we'll just continue the turn. If there is, we'll prepare our tokens and begin our fight. So at this point, we'll draw our next card and see what we have found. We found a corridor, and again, there's only this door and one other one leading to it. It says a short distance ahead is a bend in the corridor. Everything seems quiet apart from the sound of water droplets hitting the floor. No special rules. That's fantastic. We'll find our tile, place it down, and get ready. Now again, I can place this any way I want to. I could choose to place it this way or this way. I think we'll go that way. That's fantastic. I do also want to bring this to your attention. Notice how it says C13 up here. All the tiles do have a number associated with them, so if you're not sure if you have the right tile, you can always check on the tile itself. We'll place our door there to show that we have gone through it. We'll place our exploration deck down here off screen a little bit, and we'll place our door right there. With that done, we'll continue our turns. We're just going to move him 1, 2, 3, 4 over to there. That's fine. We're going to move into the next turn. So we'll again roll that scenario die and see what we get. We got ourselves a 1, so nothing is going to happen. At this point, we'll use, we have to check to see if there is an encounter in this room. So we're going to have to roll our 2 dice, and if we get a 30% or less, then that means there's an encounter. And we got an 11, so there is an encounter in this room. For this particular quest, there is a special table we're going to roll on to see what we encountered. We encountered a 0-5, which is going to be 1d4 giant rats. Let's take our d4, roll it up, and see what we get. Our caltrap of a die here. We got 2. 2 giant rats are going to be found in this corridor. Our spiral-bound adventuring book here, the dungeon reference guide, comes complete with a way to show you how to check where something's going to be. We're down here in this corridor, and it shows that all we have to do is roll a d12, and we'll put our rats out. So the first rat is going to be on 5, and the second rat is going to be on 2. So one's going to be right next to the door, and no one's going to be right next to the door too. They're waiting for us. Thank you, Osworn, for some awesomely created giant rats. We'll place them right just like that. The cool thing about this game is you can use your own miniatures from any type of game to be able to enjoy this wonderful experience. They do come with a full set of standees that are really well done, but just for since I have all miniatures from so many different dungeon crawlers, we're going to be using them. But do be aware they are a set of fantastic punch-out standees that do have a front and back, because remember, that does matter in this particular particular game. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our bag with all our chips. Quickly taking a look at our giant rat card right here. We do see it as a 45 combat skill. It has -5 to hit, 1d6 damage. It has a resilience of 30, dex of 40. It does go 6. It has the ability Scurry, may move through all models in zone of combat for free. May not stop in a square with another model. It has perfect hearing, so I am going to add +1 enemy initiative token for them. It has 6 health and has 40 experience points, and we can maybe harvest parts off this for our alchemists. We will fill our bag with 2 black chips and 4 white chips, 1 for each of our party members. We do get to put an extra black chip in for those giant rats. They kind of have that hearing ability. And we're going to take 1 more white chip for our keen hearing because we have at least 1 elf. We'll give those a good old shake and we'll see who gets to go first. Now, there is a little bit of, I have to mention, there is one thing I've done wrong, and I should have checked for these monsters before I moved in my alchemist. But we're just going to start our combat like this. That's totally fine. We are going to start with the monsters, of course. I have drawn one of them. That is awesome. They're going to go down their card and figure out what they're going to do. If we look at the order of operations for any of our enemy activations, it says magic users and enemies armed with range. We don't have those. Enemy adjacent to a hero that could make room for more enemies. They don't have to do that because they're both of them will be able to move up and attack. They don't have to move for anybody to get another person in. We're then going to check to see if there's an enemy adjacent to a hero. There's an enemy adjacent to a hero. This one is adjacent to that thief and the war priest. Then it would look for the enemy closest to a hero that could charge, enemy that has enough space to move. So we're going to stop at number 3. That is the one that is going to activate. And our rats are considered beasts, so we're going to be following this card. Our basic rules is if more than movement space away from a hero, it's moving towards the closest hero. If adjacent to a hero, make room for enemies by needing to shove or attack if necessary. We do not have to do that. We again are going to be able to get both our rats up there. If adjacent to a hero, attack according to the table. So here's our table. We're going to be rolling 2d6 to see what happens to what our rat is going to do for its first activation. I'm going to take 2 separate dice. The white die will be the first column and the orange die will be the second column. Let's roll them right here. The first column says a 5 or 6, so it will use its special talent if it can, or it will just attack. And this one will always avoid traps and can climb objects. They don't have any special abilities. Looking at their card, the only one they have is that perfect hearing, which gives them an extra thing, and scurry. So there are no special abilities. It's just going to do a straight attack. And at this point, I can choose who I want it to attack. Now, I can't have, so let's say this rat goes next, him move up and attack the same person. The monsters will attack separate targets if able to. So at this point, it's not really going to matter who it attacks, but maybe it will. I'm going to have this one attack our warrior priest because he's kind of built more to take damage. Our giant rat's combat skill is 45. We'll see how it goes. It got a 45. Exactly. Of course it did, which is it hit our poor hero. So at this point, I can choose what I want to do about that. And what I mean by that is if we look, there's a sweet flow chart again that you can follow for enemy activations. So I've kind of already done some of this. It says decide to attack, see the enemy behavior card. Then we've done a standard attack or a power attack. Well, it just did a standard attack, so it tests its combat skill. It did hit. So we're going to, I am parry stance, we're going to check that first. No, I'm not in parry stance. So we're going to go over here. Then we can decide whether to dodge or parry with a shield with a -5, 15 combat skill. Now remember, I only get 1 dodge per battle. So I could do it, and I think I might. I don't see why I wouldn't. So we're going to try to dodge this attack. So at this point, I'm going to roll my combat skill -15 from how I understand it. If I'm wrong about that, and I'm supposed to roll against the rats, please let me know in the comments below. But I believe it's my combat skill, and my combat skill is only a 50. I have a 50 combat skill at this point, so we'll roll up our 50, and I do have to subtract 15 from it. And see what we get. We got a 31, so that does actually meet, I believe, our thing. So if we add it all together, we got a 46, 90 to 50, so we're totally fine. At this point, we were able to parry. Continuing down our flow chart, parry, yes, we were successful. Or sorry, dodge. We tried to dodge, not parry, my fault. So at this point, I'm also going to mark off on our sheet here that Rock has used his dodge for this combat, and we'll erase that when we move to the next, after the combat's over. with the success here, that means that we are going to end the sequence for this attack. But if you notice, if we continue down this, it's actually really cool because it tells you exactly how this does. You decide to, no, you're going to roll for damage and see where you get hit, and then you have to check the defense against the amount of damage, which we did in our last combat, but it's really neat that it shows you everything is step by step how to go through this. And of course, once you get all the way through this, you'll have an easier understanding of where and how each enemy is going to attack and where, and rolling the dice and being able to count for them all. And it moves along really fast, but it's really neat to have this laid out on the table ready to go so you can just reference it when you need to. At this point, we'll reach back into our bag here and see what we get for our next person to activate. Hopefully it is a white chip. I do not need another black chip to go. It is a white chip, so that means one of our characters is going to activate, and I am going to activate our warrior priest. He's just going to move up one, and then he is going to make an attack, and I think he's going to attack this one right here. And you're always able to do a free turn when you move. That's part of the deal. So let's see if we can hit this guy with our, or maybe I'll just stay where I am. I think I'm going to stay where I am because then I can use both of my actions to actually attack this thing. If we look at Rock, his combat skill is 50 here. So I need to get a 45 or better because I am getting -5 because of our giant rat card. So I'm just going to take a normal attack against him for one of my action points and we'll see how it goes. I got a 17. That is enough to hit him. That's fantastic. So at this point, I am going to do 1d8 plus 2 points of damage. So we're going to grab our d8 and roll it up. I've got all different kinds of dice here. I got an 8 plus 2 is 10. Oh my gosh, I think I totally killed that giant rat. The giant rat only has 8 health, so he's super dead, and I got 40 experience points for it. Now the whole group gets that experience from how I understand it. So we'll remove this giant rat, and I can do a second action. I'm actually going to, I think I'm still going to move up one to just keep on going here, and that's going to be the end of his turn. That was really good. Now for free action, I could do a battle prayer, but I only have to spend my energy point. I only have one of those, and I think I might save that for if there's any type of big combat that we have to take care of. 2 giant rats doesn't seem too giant of a thing to overcome. So we're going to grab our next chip out of our bag and see who attacks. Hopefully it's a white one, and we can maybe take him out. Nope. It's a black one. So this one is going to move over to here and attack because that other one has already made an attack against this character. That's how I understand it. If I'm wrong again, like I said, please let me know in the comments below. So attacking our thief here. Now he has a 45 combat skill, but before he does that, I'm supposed to roll to see exactly what this thing does. We have to roll our 2d6 and see if they're able to attack, or what type of attack they're going to do. So we'll roll both of our dice up here and see what they get. They got a 4 and a 5, so the 5 again is that special ability, so he's just going to straight up attack. He moved up and he's going to attack. Now the other thing I think I forgot to do is the giant rat does get 2 activations, and he only attacked the first time. I think he was supposed to be able to attack my warrior priest a second time. So we're going to roll for the already dead rat and see what we get. He got a 2, which is going to be this, and he's going to do a power attack with a 4. So we'll see what he's going to do with the power attack, which is a standard attack if wounded. And he was not wounded at the time, so he's going to roll a couple dice and see what he gets here. He got an 86, which is not enough to hit. He has 45, and he's going to have to add 20 to that because he's doing a power attack. So he's not able to do that. He missed. No problem there. So having that, I should have done 2 attacks or 2 activations with our first rat. I only did 1. Again, a lot going on in the game. I apologize. And of course, if you do notice anything that I did wrong, please leave it in the comments below, and I'll be putting a pinned comment for any errors post-launch that have been made that have been either caught by my community or something I noticed while watching through the video again. And yes, I actually do watch my own videos sometimes to see how they all play out. So that was our second rat that attacked. Our first rat also attacked and hit. So we have to decide how, or actually, we have to decide if it hits. I apologize. That was the second rat. Our first rat now has to see if he hits our rogue. He moved up and he's going to roll his dice. He got a 67, which is not enough to hit. He needs a 45, so he did not hit. So none of the rats are hitting, which is absolutely awesome. We had the first rat did 2 attacks. Of course, one was a little bit late, and our second rat moved and did an activation and wasn't able to attack. Now let's just make sure I did this right. If more than M spaces away from a hero, move towards the closest hero. I think he's going to actually still attack that priest. I think that's what he's going to do because he would not have to move. I would have to abide by the card. The first one, the next one is if adjacent to a hero according to the table below. So I don't think he would attack the rogue, even though that other rat did attack the warrior priest. Going after on this card, I think that's the deal. So he is going to make a second attack. This is going to be that number over there. We'll see how this goes. I got a 21. He's going to do another power attack on the priest. So we'll roll our dice and see how he does against the priest. Here he got a 24, so that's a hit. Now remember, I can't dodge this because I've already used my dodge. So he's going to roll his damage die, which is a D6. And we're going to roll to see where he hits me. This one is going to be where he hits me, and this is how much damage he does. Oh boy, let's see what he got. He got a 5. He's gonna do 5 damage to me. So that hit is going to be to my torso. So I'm gonna be able to lower that by 2, meaning I'm only gonna take 3 damage, but this is gonna take another durability hit. It has at a 3 durability right now, or it's taken 3 durabilities worth of damage, which is not good. Hopefully it does not break. And we'll lower our health for Rock by 3, bringing him down to a total of 11 hit points, which we are going to keep track of on our dry erase board right here. That was the attack by the giant rat. Oh man, well, they'd been missing a lot, so I probably was destined to at least get hit once by these guys. I hope you were able to follow all that. I apologize if it was a little chaotic in the way that this first battle has gone. We're then going to go to all of our turns because there are only white chips left in the bag except for the one black one, but he's already gone, so he can't activate twice. He's going to move up 1, and it does take 2 movement to move past something once you're in their zone of conflict here. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3 to right here and attack right there against the giant rat. Kit's got 61 combat skill. So roll this up, he got a 14, so that is enough to hit. One thing I want to mention from the last video, thank you so much for the community check for reminding me of this. Whenever you roll a 0-1 or 0-5, or 0-1 through 0-5, from how I understand that, you're able to add 1 to whatever the check or the skill you were using to make it better. So I am now attacking at a 61 combat skill because Kit did roll a 0-1 through 0-5 on one of the attacks against those bandits in the earlier missions. So he was able to hit. He's going to do 1d6 plus 1 damage. Let's roll that up. He did a total of 6 health. These giant rats have a total of 6 health. So again, we're able to take out that giant rat. Now do remember, if you do drop an enemy below half health, they're going to become wounded, which means they're only going to get 1 activation point per turn. But instead, we just decide to rock these guys. We're going to move our other giant rat here. And at this point, we get to take advantage of all the things that this has. We're going to gain our 80 experience points. So we killed 2 of them. And then we can check these for parts because we have an alchemist that has alchemist tools and stuff. I have to roll against my alchemy skill, and I need a 60 or lower. I got a 36, so we were successful. And you're able to extract 1 part for every 3 monsters that have that ability to take them. So we're going to roll a d10 and see what part we get. We got a 9. If we consult our table in, again, our nice little rung-bound bounder book, we have found a tongue. So we're going to write that down in our ingredients for our alchemist. We'll move into our next turn. We'll roll up our scenario die. From how I understand this, we got a 3, so nothing is going to happen. Remember, we only need a 9 or 10 to have something happen. So we're going to activate all of our characters. I'm going to start with the warrior priest. He's going to move 1, 2, 3 over to here, and that's just where he's going to stay. Our other 2 characters are going to come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 to here, which means he's going to move 1, 2 to here, and then try to open that door. Following that flowchart, we'll roll our 2 dice and see what we know about this door. We got a 5 and a 6, so we did not roll a 6 on the 6-sider, so it is not trapped, and we did not roll above a 7, so the door is not locked. So this is a door we can open. Continuing our dungeon delve, we'll draw our next card and see what we have found. We found a corridor. Now this one does have 3 different things coming out of it. The corridor splits in 2. From the left, there is a foul smell, and there seems to be far away noises coming from the right. No special rules. Deal the cards in 2 piles from the bottom. Place each pile in an opening. Now this is going to be cool. I can show you exactly how this works, and this is a really neat way this system develops and makes this dungeon unique. Here is our tile, C11, and again, I can place this any way I want to. I could, if I wanted to, place it like this, and it could branch off in one of these 2 places. You know what? That I think is going to be kind of cool. We're going to keep it just like that. Once that's done, we are then going to take our exploration deck and, like it said, divide it into 2 piles starting from the bottom. So again, that does keep the card we're looking for in more of the bottom part of the deck. So we do have 3 separate piles now, and we also have to put out our doors to signify that there are 2 different places to go, because there are 3 exits from here, including the one that we came from. So we'll place this one right here. I know it kind of hides the character, but it does kind of make it seem kind of cool. I haven't had a chance to paint the doors yet, I apologize, but that's it. Our thing is all set up, and at this point we will roll to see if there are any encounters in this particular area here. We got a 32, and it needs to be 30% or less. So no, there was no encounters. I do want to mention though, if you ever place a 4th tile and have not had an encounter by then, the chance to find a monster increases by 10 until you do find a monster. I've kind of had to move this all over here. It might not look like much to you, but I'm kind of running out of room going in these directions because of course all the character sheets and everything are taking a lot of table space up. Of course I could bundle them all together, but then I'd forget things. Even though I probably already forgot a whole bunch of things. We're going to go into our next round. I'm going to roll this die, see if we have anything happen to us. We got a 6, so nothing is going to happen. We can activate all of our characters. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right to here. So next turn, I'm going to move all these guys up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it gets to right there. Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I could split the party if I wanted to, but we always know how that ends, usually in tragedy. And we're going to go south, mainly due to table space. Again, going this way. I should have maybe flipped. Well, either way, I would have had one of them going in that direction. This is just going to be an easier way to go. Let's roll up our dice. So we got a 2. Something's going to happen. So I am going to unlock this door, or at least attempt to see what happens if for this particular door. Let's roll our 2 dice. This person, the thief, is going to try to get this door open. I got a 1 and a 3, so it is not trapped and it is not locked. So we'll open this door up and see what is our next card here. We have found ourselves a temple. Clearly, this room has been used as a shrine for some forsaken god. On one side of the altar, flanked by 2 lit braziers, along the opposite wall are a large statue, maybe resembling the forgotten deity. Both the statue and the altar can be searched, and there's only one way out of this room other than the one we came through. So again, we're going to place out our tile. I'm going to move these, and I cannot place it like this because it would be in the way of a particular furniture piece, and I couldn't place it, of course, this way if I wanted to either. So I can place it anywhere along these lines if I want to, and I think we're going to place it just like that. I think that'll be kind of cool, and because it's all about cool factor, right? And I'm going to put the card right here so I can remind myself that I can potentially search this and these 2 things here. I think it says the statue, oh, and the altar. So just the altar and the statue can be searched. Totally fine. I'm going to place out one more door. I could choose to go this way if I want to, or I could choose south. I think I will choose this way. I might have a little bit enough board space that way. Sadly, oh no, I got a better plan. Okay, just because I'm going to be smart, in case we're going this way, I'm going to put it like this, and then we're going to have the door over here. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I'm a genius. Now we're going back towards the way we came. Because if you look at the layout of the dungeon, which is, by the way, super cool. I love the way these dungeons just develop. They look so neat. I'm going to keep that card here. I'm going to place the other 2 cards right next to that door. That's the next place we have to go. But of course, we might want to search these and see what we can find. But before we do that, we have a 50% chance of finding a monster in here, and we got a 79, so there is no monster in this room. That was our thief's first action. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 over to this door so he can work on that next turn. We're going to have our warrior priest move 1, 2, 3, 4 over to here and search that statue. Our statue looks like it's going to be kind of a risk reward type concept, because if I get a 10, I'm going to awaken a gargoyle. I have no idea what a gargoyle is, but it's not part of the monsters we're going to be fighting in this particular dungeon, so I'm guessing he's going to be kind of powerful. Let's see what happens here. I rolled a 6, so it looks like nothing. I found absolutely nothing as usual. This is awesome. Our alchemist will go next. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's going to search the altar. We'll roll up our die and see what we get here. Hopefully a 1d3. I'd love some potions. Let's see what we get. We got 7. 7 for the altar. Oh, I do get 1d6 times 10 coins, which is going to be good. We got 40 coins. Oh, that's going to be awesome. That's enough to buy some more rations. Oh, we love rations. Our wizard is the only one that has not gone. 1, 2, 3, 4. I forgot to put a door here to show that that door is there. There we go. Open just like that. I'm going to remove the card. We've done all of our searches in this room, which is awesome. And we're going to go into our next turn. Let's see if anything happens to our characters here. We got a 1, so nothing happens with our scenario die. So we're going to try to attempt to open that door with the thief. I think that's going to be our best plan here. So let's roll our 2 dice, see what we get, and hopefully not get a 6. We got a 1 and a 3. So again, our door is not trapped and it is not locked. So we're going to open the door and see what we have found. We have found ourselves a storage room. This room is quite large and is filled with crates and barrels, judging from the lack of dust on the floor. It seems as if this room has been in recent use. There are 4 sets of boxes and 3 sets of barrels in this room that can be searched. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff here. And there's 1 exit from this room. I didn't realize until I went to get the tile that this is actually our objective room. So I'm going to read a little bit about what is going on here, and then we're going to set this huge tile up and fight this main boss, this broodmother. It says here, the heroes enter what seems to be a large storeroom. The room is filled with large piles of crates and barrels, and everywhere they look, the heroes can see the beady red eyes of large rodents staring at them malevolently. Everything is covered in cobwebs and seems to have been untouched for many years. In the far back, a huge creature can be seen, much larger than the rest, and heavily deformed. It is questionable whether this rat is living or undead. So we're going to set this room up. The party's going to enter the large dusty room filled with old crates and barrels. There will be 1d10 rats in the room placed randomly, and at the far away as possible from the players, the broodmother. If the party has not encountered Johan yet, he will also be at the far end of the room, and we have not, so we'll have to deal with him as well. Here are the stats for the broodmother. It says the broodmother is an obscenely large rat, almost the size of a small horse. She is the mother of the rats and will fight to the end to protect her prodigy. It has a 45 combat skills, 1d10 damage. It has 35 dex, negative 5 to hit, 25 resolve, 4 movement, and it has only 15 hit points. So if we can get a couple good licks on this thing, we might be able to take it out. I'm going to get 115 experience points when killed, and it says the broodmother is such an abomination that she causes fear. Furthermore, her bite, which causes a wound, might infect the bitten with a disease. So we're going to have to deal with both of these status as we fight through this attack, or actually fight through this broodmother. And if that wasn't hard enough, we have Johan the gardener here as well. Stumbling around down in the basement is Johan, the old town hall gardener. Unfortunately, he is no longer alive. And the zombie remnant of his body walks aimlessly through the corridors, possibly animated by some foul magic. Or perhaps the ground itself is tainted, denying him his eternal rest. So Johan will use the standard zombie stat and is unarmed. Here's our giant board with all the stuff here. I don't have any boxes, but I did have some barrels, so I threw them out there. I thought that'd be kind of cool. One thing you can do is add your own terrain to this. Like, I could have found a cool looking statue and put it there in this room and really brought this dungeon to life, including like bedrolls in the upper room over here. I could have done that if I wanted to, but we're going to make this one kind of pop a little bit with some neat little barrels. Of course, they're not fully painted yet, but they're getting there. And we're going to decide how many rats we have in this room. We're going to roll up our die here. We got a total of 4 giant rats. So we're going to take our giant rats, we're going to place them over here, and we'll roll them in just a second. On top of that, we also have Johan the gardener here. He's a miniature from Folklore. Again, thank you, Folklore, for some wonderful miniatures. I was able to paint these up and get them up on the board. And we don't really have a brood mother per se. I have one, and it's from Osworn, but the thing is absolutely enormous, so I'm not going to be able to put it on the board. So instead, we're just going to grab this little guy from Myth, and we're going to say this is our brood mother. Now, I could have used the standee, but again, I still kind of like to use these miniatures, but you know, it's kind of deformed. It's a rat-looking creature. I don't know. We'll put him over there. We'll roll him in as well, but he's always actually going to be as far away from the people as possible, so I'm going to roll him first. We're going to roll a d6. 1's up here, 6 down there. He is at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's standing right there. That is where our brood mother is. Now let's roll in these rats. I'm going to roll a d6 and a d10. 1 is going to be up here for both of our numbers. Let's see, we got a 24. 1, 2, 3, 4 right there, and 2 right there. Next one is going to come in at 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've just noticed that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a d12 I'm supposed to be rolling, not a d6. So we'll re-roll that one's number, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's standing on top of the barrels. That's fantastic. Now, of course, they decided to use the 3D terrain. Now these things won't stand on it. That's okay. We'll roll our next one. We've got a 5 and 11. So right here, and he's going to be, wow, right next to this door. That's fantastic. Let's see where the next one's going to roll in at a 36. So 36 is going to be, I think, right about there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, yep, that's perfect. And then our last rat is going to come in at 47, and that's going to be right here. We got an entourage of rats coming in. Now, Johan, where are you? The gardener's running around. Let's see where he's at. 59. Oh, he's going to be like way up here. 5, and then let's see here, 12, 11, 10, 9. He's going to be right here. Oh no, I'm kind of worried about that zombie because we've seen the giant rats. They're pretty easy to take out, but I'm kind of worried about that zombie might do. So there we go. We have our things all set up. Now we have to put all these chips in the bag, and there's a ton of chips to put in this bag, especially for the enemies. There's 4, 5, 6 different ones. So we'll put those in the bag, and then we'll put in our 5 white chips. So I've got ourselves 7 black chips because of these 6 enemies, and they have that hearing skill, those giant rats, so stick them right in there. And then I've got 5 white chips, 4 for our characters, and then 1 because we have an elf that has keen hearing. We'll give that a good shuffle shake here, and we'll draw out a token and see who is going to go first. Now I think I have to roll the scenario die first before we start this. I don't think I did that the other ones. A 7, so it's not a 9 or 10, so nothing does happen. We'll draw our first chip out, and we did get a white chip. That's fantastic. We get to go first. Oh, that's going to be perfect. All right, I think our warrior priest is going to run in there and start causing havoc. Yes, he is going to run in and start causing havoc. He's going to run 1, 2, 3, 4 to right here and attack this giant rat. That is going to be the attack. And I'm going to put my back against those barrels there. Maybe hopefully that'll help me a little bit. We'll see if we can take this guy out. Rock has a combat skill of 50, I think. Let's check that. I think he has a combat skill of 50. Yes, he does. And but I have to subtract 5 from the roll because I am attacking a giant rat, and they have -5 to hit. Let's see if we're able to hit this guy. I got a 37. That is enough to hit the giant rat. So I'm going to be able to do 1d8 plus 2, I believe, points of damage. If we look at our character sheet, we are going to use our broadsword. 1d8 plus 2. Let's see what we get. We got an 8, so that is going to be a super dead giant rat. We're going to take him off the board. He only has 6 hit points. Now, normally, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a black chip on the board because that's going to symbolize that is where he died, in case we ever want to deal with searching or anything like that. But I'm going to remove the miniature from the board. Normally, you just kind of lay them down, but these don't really lay down. They're rats. You know, I guess I could turn them over like that, but I think I'll just put the chips on the board instead. I think that'll be better. Now, I foresee this mob of rats running up and attacking. So before we end our turn with our priest, he is going to try to invoke one of his battle prayers. He is going to invoke Matheria's Ward, +1 HP gain at the start of activation. Now, to see if this goes off, I do have to roll my battle prayer skill. And according to our sheet here, his battle skill here is going to be a 55. So we need to roll a 55 or lower in order for this thing to activate. And we got a 21, so that is activated. I'm going to put that under the status area of the write-on sheet. By write-on sheet, I mean our little thing here, our erase board here. I'm going to put BP up there. That'll stand for his battle prayer that is active. Before we draw the next chip, I did forget about fear. The way fear works is you have to roll against your resolve and whence the creature is placed on the board. And if you fail the fear test, you're going to have -10 to your combat skill, range skill against that particular enemy. Also, if you cast any spells against it, it's -10 as well. So we're going to roll up all of our different people to see if anybody are fearful of that brood mother. We'll start with our priest since he was the first one to go. We need to get a 40 or less. He's got a 40 skill. He's got a 67, so he is feared. I am going to write that on our little sheet here to remind ourselves. So I'll say that this person under status is fear. We're going to just write that right onto our status just like that. Now, again, like I said, there are tokens for these type of things, but with this thing moving all over the place, I'll probably knock them all off. Let's go to our wizard. Also a 40. He passed. We're going to go to our thief. Our thief has a 50. He failed. And the last person is our alchemist. He super passed. He's going to get +1 to his resolve because he got a 0-1 through 0-5. That's awesome. But Kit and Rock are both fearful of that brood mother. We're going to draw our next chip now and see who goes next. It's going to be one of our enemies. So at this point, we'll check our enemy chart to see which enemy is going to activate. We'll look right here. It says magic users or enemies armed with ranged weapons. We do not have any. None of these have ranged weapons. So next one, an enemy adjacent to a hero that can make room for more enemies. There is not. There's nobody adjacent to any of our heroes. Then it's an enemy adjacent to a hero. Nope, an enemy closest to a hero that could charge. So remember, you have to move at least 2 spaces to charge. These giant rats could charge our warrior priest here. So that is going to be the enemy that is going to advance, and it could be one of these two because they are the closest, is how I understand that. So I'm just going to roll a die. Even is that one, odd is that one. Let's just drop it right there. Odd is this one. He's going to charge 1, 2, 3 to right here and make an attack against our warrior priest. Now he's standing on top of these barrels. When you move off of those terrain pieces, it doesn't count against your movement, but when you move onto them, certain ones are going to impose a penalty, including these barrels and these boxes. So he charged in. Let's see what happens. And tons of rules that, of course, I'm forgetting every once in a while. The one that is easy to miss is this one right here. When you're building your bag for your initiative tokens, you're supposed to put +1 token per named enemy. So technically, I should have another black chip in there because that is the Brood Mother, and it is a named enemy. So we're going to drop that chip in just like that, and now we'll make our attack with our rat. The giant rat has a 45 combat skill. We've seen this before. I do get +10 though to the roll because he's charging. So he gets a 55 or lower. He rolled an 83, which means he did not successfully charge my character. If he did hit, even if he didn't do any damage, he would stagger my warrior priest, meaning that the warrior priest would actually be pushed back 1 square, and the rat could enter the square if it wished to, if that was its plan. But alas, it did not hit. Now I am actually going to have to change this up a little bit. He's going to have to go back here. The reason I have to change this is because a charge has to be done in a straight line. It can't be a zigzaggy path like that. It couldn't go 1, 2, 3 like over like that, like it had to. It has to be in a straight line. So this is the one that could have charged. It could charge straight up like that. This one could also charge, but that one cannot charge because it's not able to make a straight path to it without without counting hexes and squares in different directions. That giant rat has completed its turn. We're going to draw our next chip out of the bag and see who goes. I'm hoping it's white, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be black. Yep. Our black one is going to go next. It's going to be this one. Now this one will also charge 1, 2, 3, 4. It can move up to 6 spaces. It's going to charge up and attack to hit our warrior priest as well. This rat needs a 55 as well. Let's see what he got. It got a, what's this? Is that a 9 or a 6? I think it's a 6. It got a 60, which is still not a 90 or a 60. It would have been enough to hit. It's a 90. It still wouldn't be able to hit my character. It needed a 55. Sweetness. Our warrior priest is holding his own against those rats. Let's see who the next person is going to activate. It is going to be another bad guy. We'll look at our card now because it's going to change up a little bit on how we do things here because we've done all the things that can charge. So we'll see what is going to activate next. At this point, we have no magic users or enemies. We are not adjacent. We don't have any enemies adjacent to a hero. The closest that could charge, we've done that. Enemies that has enough space to move to its full movement, I believe, and then be able to get to me. That's going to be the deal here. And then we're going to just move a random enemy. It's an enemy that has enough space to move its full movement. They all have enough to move their full movement. So I believe it's just going to be the one that's closest, which is going to be this guy. And if you look at the lower undead card here, it says, if armed with a missile weapon, it'll fire. Nope. If more than M spaces away from a hero, move toward the closest hero. If M spaces of a hero, move adjacent and to the closest hero. If adjacent to the hero, attack according to it. Now, of course, it does get 2 activations, so it's going to do the third one, then the fourth one. And if you look at our zombie card, its movement is 4, so it's going to cost it 2 to move on to this barrel. And then I believe it's going to attack from there is how it's going to activate here. It is slow. It may only move once per turn, and it has fear 2, so resolve to attack. If I attempt to attack it, I will fail. I get -10 combat skill, range skill, and arcane ability here against this thing. That's terrible. So that's the zombie. We'll now deal with him. He only has a 40 combat skill. This zombie is the Obi-Wan Kenobi of the group here. He has a height advantage standing on those barrels, so he is going to get +10. He's got the high ground. We'll roll this up here. He got a 26, so that does hit me, which is absolutely terrible. So we're going to roll to see where he hits me, or I could do a dodge. I think at this point, I'm going to try to do that dodge. That's going to be the plan. Let's see how we do on our dodge. We got a 22. We were able to dodge that, so we're going to cross that off on our sheet, and that's the only dodge he has for this battle, unless he decides to do a parry stance. Or, sorry, if he does a parry stance, he can attempt to parry with a shield, but he doesn't have that. So it's the only way he can actually mitigate any of these attacks, and he just used it. I think it was a good choice, though. Now, like the Brood Mother, this zombie also has fear as well. So we have to make a fear test against this one. It was placed on the board as well. I totally missed that. So we're going to make sure we put the right statuses on our characters here. And notice the 2 here. That's 2 is the level you have to be or lower to have to deal with this fear. So once our characters become more powerful, zombies aren't going to be fearful of them. So again, we'll start with Rock. We'll see how he does. He's super afraid of everything. We have Kit. Kit's going to roll. Kit is also super afraid of everything. Bob, on the other hand, is not afraid. He got a 0.5 again. He gets a +1 to his resolve. That's amazing. It's up to 42 now. That's super good. And we got an 11, so our wizard is also not afraid. So our frontline fighters are afraid of everything, where our backline guys are like, totally fine. We can take these guys on. We're running out of chips in the bag for enemies, I think. Well, actually, I think they still outnumber us for chip-wise because There's so many of those extra chips in there. Let's see who's going to go next. Hopefully it's us. I'm sick of these guys. No, we got another rat that's going to go. So this guy is probably going to be the next person to go if we look at our order of operations for our people of activations here. The last, I think down here, it's going to say enemy closest to a hero that could charge. Nope, enemy that has enough space to move its full movement. And that is going to be this one. The giant rats do have a pretty good size amount of movement. Their movement is 6 according to their card. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over to here. And then he is going to attack the... I'm going to remove this. I apologize. It's kind of a little big there. He's going to attack this person because this person has already been targeted. So let's see what the beast is going to do. We'll roll up this, this little thing here, and we will attack our thief. We'll roll our dice to see kind of what it all does here and see what happens. We got the, well, first we'll roll to see, yes, first we have to roll to see what it's going to do. So it's 1d6 for the part there, and then 1d6 here. So it's going to do a standard attack, and we'll roll to see what it does. Combat skill 45 against me. It got a 5, so it hit. That's no good. It's going to do 1d6 damage to me, which isn't good unless I want to dodge this. I think we're going to save our dodge for later and see. Oh, should have dodged the die. Should have dodged the attack. It's going to hit me. Oh no, I think that's right in the head. Bonk. So I'm going to lose 1 durability on my, oh, not my torso, sorry, my head. But I do have head armor, which is good. So instead of taking 6, I'm only going to take 4. So I'm going to be down to 5 health. And also, since I took a bonk to the head, you're going to lose 1 sanity. So my sanity's down to 9. So Kit's down to 4 or 5 health and is at 9 sanity. Okay, seriously, it needs to be our turn now. I don't want that brood. Well, the brood mother isn't really doing anything. Everything I could probably do something's already gone. Oh, nope. The brood mother's going to go. If we look at the brood mother, it does have disease and that causes fear. Its speed is only 4 though. So we're going to only move 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it gets to move again 1, 2 with only half of its speed. So it is moving up. Oh boy, we got to take out some of these guys before this thing gets all the way up here and starts attacking as well, because this thing's going to really start doing some 1d10 damage. That's out of control. That's too much. And it has 1 natural armor as well. Oof-da. That's going to be tough. Okay, good news. The only thing left to activate are us. This character has gone, but nobody else has. I'm going to start with the wizard. The wizard has 2 action points that he can use, and I think he is going to try to take out that creature right there with some spells. The first spell our wizard is going to cast is Flare, and I'm just going to roll all my dice together. Now I have to add 8 to this roll to see how we do. I've got a 10, 11, which is going to hit, and it's going to do 7 damage to this thing. Oh, because this thing shoots out and does 1d8 points of damage. It is a magic missile spell, which means I do need line of sight, and since I'm not directly behind my ally, I can shoot through them, kind of. In a way, I'll show you how when I look at the board. It is a quick spell, so it only costs me 1 action. So our wizard shot out a bolt and hit this rat right there and killed it, which was awesome. Now, like I said before, if I was directly behind him, I would not have a line of sight, but I do have a line of sight because I can see this one, even though it is going through a square. That's how a line of sight works. It's a little, the only weird thing about it is you can't directly fire from in a either diagonal or hex or orthogonal lines from with an ally in front. But the rest of the time, I believe you have line of sight, which is sweetness. I do have 1 more action, and for example here, I do not have line of sight to this rat because he's in a direct line to me, so I can't actually do it. I do have another spell I could cast if I wanted to, and I think we are. We're going to cast our light healing spell. This can cast within 4 squares and in line of sight. Intervening models do not matter. It heals d6 points of damage. It also is a quick spell, so I can cast it right away. Now, it does have a casting value of 5, and it's costing me 10. So right now, I am used, if this goes off, I've used 25 of my 59 points of magic that I have. We'll roll our casting value up here and see if we're able to do it. We got a 57. That might not make it. Let's see what our casting value is on it. It is a 10. So we are okay. That's going to be 67. Remember, my casting value is 60. Oh, no, it's only 5. So we're fine. We were able to get it. We do get to heal d6 points of damage, and I'm choosing that our rogue that got hit. I think he needs to heal up here a little bit. He's going to gain 3 hit points back, bringing him up almost to his max. So he's going to go down to 34 magic points here. but that's okay. And Kit is going to gain back some hit points, going to gain back 3, so Kit is at 8 health. Next will be our rogue. He's going to move 1, 2 over to here, and hopefully he can try to start working on this zombie. Or should I take out another rat? I think we should take out another rat. He's going to move over here and take out this rat. That's going to be my plan. From where he is, 1, 2, 3, 4 to right there. Now I am a little worried because his brood mother is probably going to go after him, but hopefully we can get some. Oh, I think we're going to back up a little bit to right there. I think that'll be better. Oh, I don't know. This is so tough. I'm so worried about this thing. I'm going to attack the rat from there. I have a 61 combat skill. We're just going to roll all these dice together and see how it goes. I have to add 5 to the roll, so I got a 26 total. So that does hit. I do hit, and I did a total of 5 damage to that rat with my rapier, which is not going to be. Oh, the rapier does +1, so I did 5 + 1, so that is 6. I think that's enough to kill the rats. Remember, they only have 6 hit points, right? Let's find our giant rats. Looking at the card, it does show that, yes, they do have 6 health, so we took out another giant rat. That's awesome. He is off the board. We'll put down a token there on him. And wow, we did really good. We took out 3 rats in 1 round, and we're not quite done yet. Now, sadly, the rats were not the hard part of the deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to move over there so he can kind of come around and start attacking as well. Oof, this looks really cool. Our guys are all set to hopefully take on these things. Now, of course, this and this is the 2 problems here. This giant rat's not really that big of a deal, but it is better to take out these characters because, of course, the less chips you have in, the less things are going to activate. That, I think, is the end of all of our turns. So we're going to roll our scenario die and see if anything happens. We got a 7, so no, nothing is going to happen, which is totally fine because I don't want any of the monsters getting any type of boons. Some things they could do is they could potentially heal up some of their health. Other things they could do is go into like a frenzy. They could become fearsome, which I'd have to roll more fear tests. They could even gain more combat skill against us, or even more reinforcements could join the battle. There's a lot of different things that could happen based on the scenario die roll. And of course, we'd have to roll lower than our threat on our threat die to make any of that all happen. But with things like that happen, it can turn the tide of a battle pretty quick. So we'll recreate our bag. We have our 4 chips here. We don't have our keen hearing anymore. It's not past the first round. And we have 1, 2, 3, 1 for each enemy here. And then I also have 1 for the named enemy. So it's 4 on 4. Let's see who goes first. I totally want me to go first. Please be me. Please be me. Please be me. Oh, it's not me. That's no good. So looking at our order of operations here, we have the magic uses the enemy adjacent to here. That could make room for more enemies. I don't need to make any room for more enemies. So how I understand that is that one would not fall. The next one would be enemy adjacent to a hero. So we have 2 different enemies adjacent to a hero. We'll have to see which one's going to attack. This one will be evens and the rat will be odd. So it is going to be that zombie. Oh no, I totally don't want that zombie to attack. If we look at the zombie here, we're going to roll our d6 and see what it does. It got a 2, so it's going to do a standard attack. The zombie has a combat skill of 40, so he's going to make an attack. This is going to be, please don't hit, that would be bad. Oh no, he hit me. He's going to do 1d8 damage, and I've already used my dodge for this turn, or battle against him, so I'm going to take 1d8 points of damage, probably to the face. Let's see how it goes here. I'm going to roll to see where I get hit. I got hit in the 2, which I believe is the torso. 4, 8 plus 1 damage for 9 damage. 2 was the arms. I got hit in the arms for 9 damage. I have 11, so now I'm down to 2. I'm down to 2 health with my warrior priest here. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. Oh no. And we have to take another one off of his arms. He's down to 5 durability loss on his arm. He might need to get some new armor here pretty soon. He's getting totally beat up. Sadly, that was only the first attack with our guy. I'm gonna roll everything together. This is gonna be the one on the card here to see what he does. He got a 3. He's going to hit me with a standard attack, which means he's a 40 or better. He did hit me. He got 32. That's terrible. And he hit me in the body, which, oh, but he only did 1 damage. Oh, 2 damage because he gets +1. And I do have 2 armor in there, so I'm not going to take any damage. Oh my goodness. All right. So he actually, his second attack didn't go through, and it didn't do any, or did go through, but it didn't do any damage. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Our warrior priest is in a world of hurt. I need somebody to go, and we need to heal him. I need my magic user to go. Oh good, the magic user is going to go, because I think I'm going to cast 2 heal spells on that guy. Or do I? I could start casting some super spells, which could really maybe take this thing out. That would probably be a really good idea to take him out. I think it's just better to take this guy out as fast as we can. I think I'm going to heal him, and he's going to have to start wailing on this guy, hopefully taking him out as fast as I can. So we're just 1, 2, 3, 4. I can cast my heal spell within range 4, I believe, light healing. It's within range 4. Yep, within range 4 and line of sight, I do have it. I am going to be able to heal 6 points of damage. It's a quick spell, costing me another 10. I'm going to roll everything together and hopefully heal our character. I got a 6, so I'm going to be able to, well, if I cast, oh, I got a 0-3. That means, again, I get to go up in skill. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So his arcane ability now just became 70. Which is super, super good. He's got a 70 arcane ability now, and he was able to heal 6 points of damage to my warrior priest who totally needed that badly. So he's up to 70. He did have to spend 2 in order to cast that, or 10 in order to cast that, so he's down to 24 mana points. So we'll just erase the 3 here and put a 24. I'll open this thing up. 24, and I get to heal 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's back up to 8 health. That is going to be good. He has a total of 14, so I think we're going to cast it again and hopefully get him to the max points here. Let's see how we go next. We got a 99. Oh no, that's a miscast. So sadly, we went from 0 to 0 on this. The way a miscast works is you are going, if you ever roll a 95 to 100, you have miscast the spell, meaning you've seen something unworldly that strains your brain. We have to take D3 sanity hits, so we're going to take 2 points of sanity. So we're down to 8 on him. Now, on top of that, the other big kicker to this is normally if you've fail a spell, you only lose half of the casting of the spell, but since this was a miscast, you do lose the full mana on that. So I'm down to 14 mana points, and there's still a lot on the board. So good news, we were able to heal him a little bit. Bad news, I miscast, and now my magic user is going to suffer. Hopefully we can go next. I need to hopefully take something out. Oh, good, we get to go next. Now the big question is, do we try to take out this giant rat, or do we start working on this zombie or the broodmother? Might be another way to go here. I'm going to move my alchemist 1, 2, 3, 4 to right there. We're going to go after this broodmother. I've got a plan, or maybe a better plan would be 1, 2, 3. Nope, that's it. 4. I don't want to have to get into this. Oh, I don't have to get to 1, 2, 3. No, it's terrible. Okay, yep, 4 right there. We're going to get right there. That's the plan. And I'm going to use my dragon breath spell, or not spell, but my potion. The way the dragon breath spell works is I can either choose to do a D8 points of damage to a creature that is one square next to me, or I can do D4 damage to 2 squares that are in a straight line from where I am. And I'll show a little bit more about that on the board when I do it. Now, I don't have to do any type of attacks from how I understand it's just a straight up roll. We're able to do 8 points of damage. That is so good. Our broodmother is at 7 points of damage. So our broodmother is now wounded and is only going to be able to do 1 action a turn. That is going to be super important. So we'll place a 7 die just right next to it here. Actually, I'm just going to put it right on the card. That'll make life a lot easier. I'm going to put the broodmother card there and put a 7 right there on it to show the health that it has. And I'm going to put a wounded token next to her. Funny enough, I actually forgot to put a wounded token next to him. He should have also had a wounded token, but now he's above his half health, so he gets back. He would be removing the token at that point. I forgot to do that. We're going to shake up our bag again and see who's going to be next. Hopefully it's one of us. It is not. It is a bad guy. So the order of our enemy activation is going to be magic users don't have him, range, nope, enemy adjacent to a hero. We do have two different enemies that are adjacent to heroes that haven't gone yet. He has gone already, so he's not going to be able to do anything. Let's roll a d6 and see which one attacks. He is going to be the even numbers. Let's see, we got, the broodmother is going to attack, and it's going to attack the alchemist because it's right there. And this is going to be bad. Look, 45 combat skill, 1d10 damage. Oh no, this is going to be horrible. Well, still, hopefully nothing too bad happens. The broodmother is a beast, so we're going to go off that chart. This is going to be the first of the d6s. This is going to be the attack roll. Let's see how this goes. It's going to be a 4 and a 6. The 6 is going to be a standard attack, and the 4 is going to fall in there. It got an 80, which means it didn't even hit. Oh my, that's fantastic. There's only one of them left, but there is still more of their chips in here. Let's see who gets to go next. Hopefully me. Maybe I can take out that rat. Oop! The rat gets to go next, and he's going to attack there. We'll roll all our dice together. We'll see if we can remember what these do. This is going to be for that part there. This is where another thing it is. This is where it hits me, and this is how much damage it does if it even hits me. It's rolled up. We got a 3. It's going to use a power attack, so it's going to get to add plus 20 to the attack. It got a 45. It needs a 45. It got a 74, so it missed. We're going to stop right there. It would have hit me in the arms for 3 damage. So see how you can do it all in one big shot there, but we can stop right here because the 74 does not hit. Because 45, 55, 65. Yep, we need a 65 to hit. It'll make its next activation. Let's see what it does for its second attack here. It is going to 4 and 3, which again is going to be a power attack. Oh my gosh, it got 100. 100 is a super bad roll for him. He's going to fall down, meaning he's going to have to spend one of his action points next turn in order to stand up. So this time I am going to tip him over, just to remind myself that he has to stand up. Wow, how could the rat just fall over? I'm pretty excited about that rat falling over. The other thing is I have to turn this guy either this way or this way to attack the priest. He can't be facing diagonal because you do have to account for this zone that you're in, zone of control. So I'm going to have him facing that way. I think that's more advantageous. Actually, he would have been walking up and he'd stopped right there. That's my plan. Because I'm going to try to get this guy behind and start doing some real damage. Or should I take that guy out? Should I just take that guy out? I don't think I can take that guy out. I think I would need some help taking that guy out. I think we do. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to move over to there and we're going to make I'm going to do just a power attack. I'm just going to go right for the jugular. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm already losing 10 to my roll because the broodmother, I'm fearful of the broodmother. So I got a 25, which means I did hit because I gained plus 20 minus 10 is 35, totally fine. I did 2 plus 1 damage, so that's 3 more. Our broodmother is down to 4 health, so this is going very well. I don't know why I'm saying that. That means things are probably going to turn around in my favor or not in my favor anymore. That's the end of his turn. The warrior priest is the only one left. He still has his battle prayer on, so he does get to heal 1 hit point. He goes up to 9, which could be the meaning of life and death according to this guy. I think I'm going to have him turn here and attack this rat. I think is going to be the plan. I think we're going to have him attack the rat because then and after we finish the broodmother, we can all kind of concentrate on poor old janitor here guy, the gardener. I'm not going to do a power attack. I said I was. I didn't realize, I totally forgot the power attacks actually take 2 action points to do. And I shouldn't have done one with my rogue, but actually I've been doing a lot more with the enemies than I've been doing with myself. So if you ever do roll a power attack on the second action of an enemy, I believe they just do a standard attack, but that's okay. Our rogue still would have hit even if not doing a power attack. So we'll be okay there. Let's see how we do with just our first attack. I got a 36. And I do have to add 5, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. 41 is below 50. And look at this, another 8. I took this guy out. He's also dead. Super dead rat. Wow, my guy's on fire with dead rats. And since he's got 1 more action, I'm going to attack that zombie. Now, I am fearful of the zombie, so I have to subtract 10 from my roll, which means, well, what's this, a 60 or a 92? A 92 doesn't hit anything. It won't hit anything ever. So that's it. That's the end of our turn. We're going to take our tokens here and put them all back in the bag. I've got a whole, let's pour out the rest of our tokens here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for my guys. And then there are only 2 enemies left. So we'll put 1, 2 in there, and we'll put 1 more because the broodmother is a named enemy. At this point, I will roll my scenario die and see what we get. We got a 2, so a 2 doesn't do anything, which is fantastic. I don't want anything to happen. I'm going to draw a token out of here and see what we got. One of our characters gets to go first. I think I'm going to have our rogue take this guy out. I think that's going to be my best plan here. I think that's the way to do it. Now, one thing I forgot is he does have natural armor, so he should actually have 1 more health. He should be back to 5. There are so many things going on that I have to try to keep on remembering. I'm going to move him first. He's going to move 1, 2 back here. Now he can attack from the back, which means he's going to get plus 20 to his roll, and he gets to ignore the natural armor on an enemy because of his backstabber ability. Let's roll up our attack and see how it goes. I got a 0-8, so the 8 does hit. I did 4 plus 1 is 5 damage. Oh, 5 damage is exactly enough to kill this guy. Yes, the broodmother is destroyed. We totally took it out. Not exactly the broodiest mother here, but that's okay. That broodmother is dead. I'm going to lay it down on its side. And with the broodmother dead, we're going to only have to worry about Johan here, which is Johan is going to be fantastic. Let's take this guy out. Hopefully he doesn't kill my guy first. Uh-oh, he gets to attack. This could be bad. Johan does get to roll to see what he does, and he is going to attack with a combat skill of 40. Now he does get plus 10 because he's standing on a bunch of boxes still, which is kind of funny. I don't need that die. I need this die. We'll see how this all goes. He does roll a D8. Oh, I guess I did need that die. I'm gonna use that die. There we go for his damage. We'll see how this all rolls up here. I'll roll this and see what happens. He rolled a 3 and then a 6. Oh, he only rolls 1 of those. I'm sorry. So a 3 is a standard attack. He did get a 38. That is going to be a hit for 2 + 1 is 3 damage. Now, where did he hit me? I forgot to roll that die in. 3. He's going to hit me in the torso. So I'm going to take another hit to my durability on my torso. I have 4 durability hits for that. I am going to take 3 damage. 2 of it's going to be soaked up from the wet armor. So I am only going to take 1. I am at 8 health, which is good. I'm glad I healed my guy. And he's going to do a second attack. Now, this is going to be where he hits me. Let's see how this goes. He's going to do a 6, which is a power attack. But remember, he can't do one because it's supposed to take 2 action points. My fault on that. He is going to hit me in the chest, which is going to be bad. Oh my gosh, for 8 points of damage. Oh, we got a 93. He's going to miss. He's going to miss. That's fantastic. Oh my gosh, that's so good. That could have been really close to death. 8 again for -2 would have been 6 points of damage. I would have had like 2 health. Oh my gosh. He's done. I'm going to have all my characters kind of move in and take him out. We're going to start with my alchemist. He's going to move in and make an attack. He has a combat skill only of 42, but I get to add 20 because I'm attacking in the back. And I got a 0-1. Wow, this is Exploding Bob is out of control. He's been leveling up his skills just from using them and fighting. He is absolutely amazing. His short sword does 1d6 + 2, so he did 4 points of damage to the undead zombie who has 12, so he is at 8 health. I'm just going to track that with this die right here. We'll put it at 8. That's the end of his turn. He has made his 1 attack and he has moved. Our mage is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 to right here and attack that zombie here. We'll see if I can actually kill him. He's going to use, I wonder if he doesn't have enough for this. He's going to, yes, he does. He has 14 left. I'm going to use Hand of Death. It's going to do 1d8, 10 points of damage to the enemy. And it's a quick spell and it's a touch. So we'll see if we can fire this off. There's a lot of things that work here. First, we have to see if the spell goes off. It does. I got a 19. Then we have to actually touch him. And my combat skill is 40, but I get to add 20 to this roll. I got an 86. It did not touch him. Dang it. That's the end of that spell. So the spell worked, but it didn't actually hit him. So I'm going to have to subtract 8 from there. So I'm down to 6 magic points. He's pretty much just going to start beating people up with that staff now. Rock is the only one left. He's going to attack. He's not going to do a power attack. Actually, he is going to do a power attack. Why not? We're going to do a power attack. We might be able to kill this guy in 1 shot if we're lucky. I'm going to do a power attack against this guy, and I get to heal 1 because my battle prayer is still going on. Now I'm going to get to add 20 to my roll, but he is fearful of this guy, so I do have to subtract 10. And lucky for us, he has a 0 to attempt to hit. So let's roll these up and see what happens. I got a 39. That is enough. And look at this. 39 hits because I only need a 50, and I get to add, I guess we'd get to subtract 5 from the roll or 10 from the roll, I'm sorry. So I'm super good there, but then I did 7 points of damage, and I do get +2 with my broadsword, which is enough to take him out because he only had 8 left. Wow, we got these guys super excited. I do get to now gain some treasure and stuff from some of these from him, and we get to maybe get some parts from all the giant rats. We're going to check with our alchemist what kind of parts we can get. We'll roll our alchemy skill. I got a 35, so we are going to be able to scavenge some parts from these rats. Now let's check out the treasure table. Sadly, our zombie is only a T1 treasure table, so we'll just roll it up and see what we get. We got a 1. I got a random weapon. Man, we're just the master of finding these random weapons. I think I rolled 2d12 last time. Let's see what we get here. 6 + 12 is 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. We get an elven bow. Oh my gosh. I'm sure that's fantastic. Look how much it's worth. That's so good. Now it's going to have some durability hit from what I understand. We'll see what its durability hit is. It's only a 1. So we have a elven longbow with 1 durability loss. Let's see how much it weighs. It weighs only, let's see, elven bow 10. Oh, the elven bow is only 7 encumbrance. I'm going to give that elven longbow to Rock. And at this point, we have, I need to get the parts. Let's roll to see what kind of parts we find. Now, I do get 1 for every 3, so we do get 2 of these, actually. Let's see what we get. We got a 2 and a 2. We got 2 kidneys. So our alchemist is rocking up some of these things. He's got 2 kidneys, an eye, 3 tongues, bitterweed, topic, war raw weed, and mountain barberry. Whatever that is. Now, I can always put some of these together to make some potions, and we might do that on our way to our next quest at some point. We'll remove, of course, all of our enemies. At this point, we can do a turn in here, or we're going to leave the dungeon. We could keep on going. I mean, I could check out what's behind there. There's probably some things to search and things of that nature, but we completed our quest, so it's time to go back to town. But first, we could try to search some of these boxes on the way. Now, I believe, I could be wrong about this, but I think once you complete your objective, you're able to just leave the dungeon. I don't think you need to actually physically walk all the way back. Though, of course, there is that die you have to keep rolling. So we're going to do that but it's going to go pretty quick here. And of course, I just rolled a 10. So we're going to roll a 20-sider to see if anything happens. We got an 11, so nothing is going to happen, but I do have to raise my threat by 1. So we're going to put it up 1, bringing our threat to 6. So we are getting closer to that threshold where this might become an actual issue at some point. So I am going to search some of these things on the way out. He's going to search the barrels there. I'm just going to boxes. There is boxes here. He's going to search the boxes here. He's going to search. Oh, I'm actually going to move this person 1, 2 over here to search those barrels. So 2 boxes, 2 barrels, and then we're going to be on our way out. That's going to be our plan. I don't foresee these boxes and barrels being that great, so we'll do our 2 boxes. Let's see what we got here. We have gotten a 1 and a 6. If we look at the boxes, where's that one? There's boxes. 1, I get a mundane treasure. That's awesome. Now let's check out the barrels here. We're going to roll them up. We got a 3 and a 3, so nothing. So I do get a mundane treasure. There are 3 different types of treasure decks: mundane, fine, and wonderful as you go through the game. We got a mundane treasure. I've shuffled these all up. I'm just going to grab one. Let's see what we got. We have found bandages, well preserved in a small bag. The bandages are good as good as they get. I get 1d2 linen bandages necessary when using the healing skill. I can heal 1d8 points of damage. That's fantastic. Even I get 1, odd I get 2. Let's see, even I get 1 bandage. That's fantastic. And then we just go ahead and I believe put it right back in the deck and shuffle it up. I gave the bandage to our wizard, and at this point there I'll be able to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to here. 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. He moved to go to those barrels. We'll roll our die to see if anything happens again. Nothing's going to happen. So we'll all be able to move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there. I'm actually just going to move this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's the one in the back. Let's roll up our die again. Nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like I said, I believe you're just supposed to be able to leave the dungeon, but I'm just going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's probably going to start going off screen here. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into that room up there on top, and he's almost out. We got an 8, so close to a 10, and 9 and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the last little maneuver he'll make is going to be off the dungeon. So we did make it out of the dungeon without having any other things happen to us. There is something in the dungeon I didn't do that you can do. You can forego your entire turn to just search a room, potentially finding something of value in it. But that does take your entire turn, and you can have multiple people help you out. And you're going to roll your perception to see if you're able to find something. And if for every person that helps, it does increase the roll, your perception by +5. And at that point, depending on who's helping, you would use the highest person's perception when rolling to see if you find anything. But we didn't do that because I didn't really need to. I was more interested in finding the bad guy and killing him. Without anything absolutely terribly traumatic happen to our party, we of course are only level 1. Who knows? As you can see, you can fall pretty quickly in this game if you're ganged up on and attacked and the rolls do not go your way. Things can go badly very fast when you first start this game. The aftermath of our adventure states the town elder is pleased with the hero's efforts. The rats in the village have already become less common and they act less confident. Surely they will disappear completely soon. The news of Johann came as a bit of a shock, though, and he seems troubled, telling the group, "I was quite fond of him. Hard worker, indeed. Figured he'd left the city, maybe ran off with some local lass. But this is troubling indeed. The dead do not rest easy, but here, in the middle of my town?" Before parting, the party is offered 50 coins extra per hero as gratitude for finding Johann. The town elder recommends the party head to Silver City. He tells them skills such as yours are highly sought after in the big city. To further help the party on their journey, he offers them 10 rations to use on the road. Well, I guess they have to buy rations then. Head to Silver City to continue the campaign. Looking at each of our guys, we might want to think about getting some more different armor for our warrior priest here. And he has 835 experience points and 75 bucks. That's not too bad. My encumbrances aren't exactly right now, but that's okay. Our wizard actually isn't doing too bad. He's got 105 coins. Then, like I said, they all have 835 experience points, which is pretty good. Oh, our wizard did take a couple sanity hits there. So we got to get rid of some of his sanity because he has to rest to get that back. He's at 8 sanity right now. And the other person that took a sanity hit is going to be our rogue. He's got 115 coins. He's doing real good. We also have those 10 rations, and we also have the items as well. He should have taken a sanity hit, so we're going to go down to 9 on that, just so I can remember it. Not 19. That one needs to disappear. There we go. 120 gold for him. Now, looking at some of the stuff we have, I gave the wizard all the bandages and rations. I didn't look at the encumbrance on those, but for now, that's going to be just fine. Once we start dealing with moving to the next area, I'll kind of spread that out along our way. He still has, I think, not much that's changed for him. He does have this hate, but that's only against bandits and brigands. He's killed 2 so far, so we're getting closer. We need to get 600,000 coins for our new home that is going to have for a while. He does have a lot of those ingredients, and he could make some potions maybe along the way. You could make them in town. I could do that as well. You can also make them on the road to Silver City. You can also do that in the dungeon when you can, because you can rest in the dungeon as well, which it helps you get some of your PowerPoints and things back as well, which I didn't need to do. He's got some lockpicks, which you didn't have to use, which is pretty good. Just kind of going through our characters real quick here. He's got the longbow that we found, and he has, tunnel fighter, plus 10 combat skill in tunnels. I forgot about that. I probably should have been using that. The warrior priest has that ability. I totally missed that, but that's okay. I want to get plus 5 to fear test. I wonder if that would have mattered. Who knows? Oh well, that's the way it goes. When you play 4 characters in this game and you're trying to control all 4, there's probably going to be a few things you miss here and there. I think that's about all we have to do for our characters right now. I think they're going to be just fine. I don't think there was anything I needed to do. I think we're good. I think we're good here. So our characters are ready to go into town and maybe pick up some new armor, like I said, maybe some weapons. Who knows? We're going to sell that longbow, that's for sure. That thing's going to be a fortune. I could use it. Maybe he could use the longbow if I wanted to. I can give it to this guy. Maybe not be a bad idea. It does have a 60 range combat skill after all. But we're going to do that in the next video. We'll be doing our town settlement area. We'll try to get to Silver City, and we'll continue our dive into League of Dungeoneers. This video, I wanted to get a full dungeon delve in for you. Of course, this is just, again, an introductory mission, so I'm sure that as we go forward, we're going to see a more expansive dungeon. But even just this small dungeon is super cool to go through. We got a couple rooms in there. We had a couple corridors. This is super fun. I was really excited to see all the different things you could do inside these rooms, searching all these neat little things. We had a fun little combat here. I think in the next videos, I am going to start using some of the extra little pieces of terrain that I have that from other games so we can really flesh out these dungeons and make them look super cool. And I'll try to get these doors painted up. We'll see if that happens. There are some cards we didn't get to, but that's okay. We'll be able to maybe see some of those in some of the next videos. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough of League of Dungeoneers. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more content comes out. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon. The link to that is also in the description of this video. Some of the Patreon perks that they're able to receive is that, first off, they do get to see the videos of my playthroughs a day or two before without any commercial interruptions. On top of that, they can help me decide what characters we use, what their names are, and even how we level them up. These characters in our League of Dungeoneers playthrough were completely voted on by my Patreon, and on top of that, they also named them for me. It was super cool to see all the wonderful names and the great comments in the Patreon. Those that have supported the Patreon are located on the screen right here. Thank you so much for all your Patreon support. It means the world to me. It helps keep this channel going and striving and getting new awesome things going. Some of the things that we do here on Meet Me at the Tables, we do have live playthroughs we do every Monday. Colin from the One Stop Co-op Shop comes over and he and I play games together. Also, every week I try to do a painting video. Like maybe we can do these doors, for example. Or we'll do other miniature painting that is going to be used in some of our playthroughs so these games really come alive. So there you have it. This was our second mission in League of Dungeoneers. It was super fun. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're excited to see more League of Dungeoneers or anything else, then I need you to meet me at the table.